This meeting is being recorded, and it's your boy GDQ with the Activated Podcast.
This is your boy Mac2301, Activated Podcast. Just to let you know, this call may be recorded for quality insurance.
This is a new one right here. We never had just your boy and Delaney, so y'all are in for a treat today. This is a new one. 3 years. It's been over 3 years. It's never been just the duo. So we here, baby. We here. We live. We've never had just me and you. We did 2 me and Walter episodes. It's been 2. This is the first time.
I'll say okay. And for everybody that knows, just so you know, only reason why it's ever been just Walter and Q is because I've had relationship obligations. But I apologize for not showing up last week. Made a life commitment to my now fiance. So yeah, my bad. But yeah,
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah, it's definitely worth it. I recommend anybody that's watching, go get you a fiance, go get you a wife.
Yeah. Stop messing around, and that means that you got to do the right things.
Yeah. Don't be stupid. Don't
be stupid.
Make this shit easy for you. When you make this shit easy for you, like
then it's easy. And it's not difficult.
It's so much easier, you know. Shit. To this day, man, I still remember exactly what you said when you was like with Evelyn. You was like, bro, I'm not finna be out here fucking around. I'm finna find me a girlfriend. I'll find me a Mexican girlfriend. You know, and we're gonna get married and yada yada yada.
That's what I moved. That's partly why I moved down to Dago. So 22 years old from Sacramento. I knew I'm ready. I'm ready to settle down and get a move on with it. The earlier you do it, the more you can actually go and do fun things with life instead of worrying about that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so there's the backstory of like why every time y'all only see Walter and Q. It's because I'll be out here tending to the missus. So, but we here and we're gonna get shit cracking.
Yeah, lots happened in a week. The news cycle is daily. I mean, it's hourly basically, but some wild things happen. I guess we could start with the funny stuff first, which was Biden falling up the stairs. I mean, to me, that's not fun. Like, I don't think it's a big deal. You know what I mean? Like,
everybody falls up some stairs.
Especially when you're 78, like running up the stairs. You know what I mean? You're gonna fall. And he fractured his ankle recently or something like that.
Really? I didn't know that. I know one of his dogs bit one of the policemen or Secret Service.
And that's a comrade right there.
Yeah, well, I think they're putting too much energy towards him going up them stairs. Like, okay, like people fall up the stairs all the time, you know.
Well, and at the same time, it's like people were laughing at Trump because he couldn't like drink a glass of water properly. You know what I mean? These are old people who
he was walking down that ramp.
These are old people, you know what I mean? And I kept hearing like, oh, Trump's has Alzheimer's and dementia. Like, he proved he doesn't. You know what I mean? He's old. This fool obviously knew what he was doing. And it's kind of similar with Biden. Like, Biden, he doesn't seem like off besides being old. You know what I mean? Like, I worked at a nursing home. Evelyn works at a nursing home. Like, you can tell, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, you shouldn't be running things. I don't think you should be really like that running stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm not like worried Joe Biden's going to croak tomorrow or something like. And I mean, if he did, I don't know.
Yeah. And to be honest,
the world goes on.
To be honest, like, shit. He's 78. Trump is how old?
I think he's like 76 or something like that. Maybe he's 72. I don't know. Let me look it up.
Donald Trump age.
He's 74. So average
He's 74.
72,
But
76
the
then.
funny thing is like Biden looks like he looks like he's in better shape than Trump is, though.
Oh, Biden looks like he jogs, bro. That's what I mean.
Yeah. The way he was going up those stairs is like he's definitely went for like a quick little mile, quick little jog around the White House to get the diabetic blood going. I don't know if he's diabetic though, but
And I mean, people just like, I think we all just like to make fun of things and like, but yeah, I mean, it was funny, you know what I mean? Anything that comes out of the memes, but it's similar with Trump. They both, I mean, they're both old. They do similar things. They've got problems other than them falling up the stairs and being old. So, or being older.
Yeah,
Elderly.
like getting out these stimulus checks.
Like properly running the country and not making money and screwing people over. And yeah.
Yeah, again, we talked about this before the show about how New Zealand and Australia are having 30,000 attendees at a pool party concert. Like, what?
This is what I mean, bro. This is where I feel like America, sometimes I just drive around and I'm like, bro, there's people on the street, like not a lot of businesses look like they're doing very well. Like people are kind of mad. Like if you were ever like in a failed state in history or like a failing state, you would call it what, you know what I mean? The US is like the worst stuff for COVID. We can't handle it. You know what I mean? Like just a whole bunch of things happening. We can't take care of our citizens. We take 3 months to get $1,400 to people, and they had lied about it and said it was too, you know what I mean? There's all these games, and Texas didn't have, you know what I mean? Like Texas didn't have water and stuff because of a whole bunch of different problems because of the energy company, but their systems weren't ready to handle all the stuff. Jackson, Mississippi was probably still out of water for some people, but for over a month they didn't have water. Like
Flint still doesn't have water. Like these, and that's, you know what, and that always would make me wonder is like how can we really say that, like, we're the greatest country on earth, like when even like the smallest minuscule things that can clearly be, it's the funny thing is like all this stuff that happens, we act like we don't have the resources or the money to fix them. But it's always an excuse. It's always a reason. We can spend $900 billion on an aircraft carrier, to take, United States sailors to wherever to assist with whatever war we're in. But yeah, we can't spend, $9.2 billion to fix a water issue in a city in our own country, or we can't spend however, I don't know the numbers right off the top of my head, but I think it was around like 3 billion just to combat, the homelessness in the United States. So it's always mind-boggling to me how we never have the resources to actually fix things and improve things in this country. But when it comes to anything war related, it's sure, here you go. Here's some more. Here's some more meaningless money that we can just spend. And I'm really quick. I'm kind of glad that this pandemic happened because it's allowed a lot of people to like really see how much the government does not care about its people once they're there. Once they've gotten in office, they don't really care,
Well, yeah.
It is what it is.
I agree. I think it's messed up. And I mean, it goes all the way down to like defunding the police. If you just take 1 year of like them not increasing someone's police budget in every city and just put that money to something else, like there would be so much better. So many problems could be, you know what I mean, at least starting to be resolved.
Yeah.
Like we spend so much money on that stuff. Think about how much money is spent in every city to have like an occupying force. Like you don't need La Mesa and El Cajon to both have Bearcats. You know what I mean? Like you don't need that. You don't need, and then it's all over the country. There's smaller police forces that have a bunch of money. You know what I mean? And with a small town, and it's everywhere. NYPD spends billions on their police. Like, so it's,
They're the worst ones.
and
Statistically, they're the worst ones.
it's just, it's bad. Like in I guess it's all about profit. So war and policing is profitable, but helping people off the streets is not immediately profitable. Um,
That's the thing about it. Everything doesn't need to be fucking profitable.
but
It's not.
that's the system problem. That's what
That's
capitalism
yeah. That's
says, though.
capitalism, and that's capitalism at its finest. Like I get it, but like when I feel like now, you know how they say like money can't buy you everything. That's only in a capitalistic setting.
I,
That's go ahead.
no, you're right. I mean, money. I, these things can be fixed with the money that we're spending elsewhere that's being wasted. You know what I mean? You could fix so much. I mean, look at how many freaking people are homeless right now and can't eat, like in supposedly the best country in the world, you know? And so that, to me, that's a sign of a failed state when you have a significant portion of your population is homeless, and then or very, very poor, and then another significant portion of your not significant, but a very small portion of your population is very rich and very and able to do whatever they want, and they control everything. And if they were to just take a little bit of that money and just actually help people, things would get solved. But capitalism says you need to make an increase every year. You have to increase your profit. Every business's goal is to not make the same amount of money year over year. It's
And that's cool. And that's absolutely cool. Like yeah, in those settings, in the business settings, like yeah, that's the goal. You never want to.
Which is the problem, but that's the problem. Make the same money for 5 years. Like, I'm not even saying don't make money. I'm saying make the same amount.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. That's what I was going to get to is that, yeah, the goal is to not be complacent or stay the same, but hell, maintaining, let's just say breaking even. If you're a business and you're breaking even the first like 3 years before you actually see a profit, that's still a win. You didn't lose money. You didn't lose any money. And I don't know. It's just so weird how we believe that like spending money on homelessness or spending money on healthcare and spending money on what else is our main?
Well, schooling too. We barely
Yeah,
spend
schooling.
money
My,
on it.
my bad. I just couldn't. I forgot what I wanted to say because I wanted to say spending money on the police, but which is also another thing too. But like we're spending money on all these things, but it's like okay, apparently we don't know how to kill two birds with one stone. Like I was like, oh, if we defund the police, oh, well, what are we gonna do with this money then? Like, well, if they can't use it, then what are we gonna do with it? How about putting it towards like a mental health department? Like that's the new thing now. It's like now it's not so much as shooting unarmed black men and people of color. It's now you're shooting people who are having mental health episodes. Like it's like how many times can you pick the most non-threatening reasons to shoot and kill somebody. Like,
which brings up, well, not just that too. Marvin Scott III last weekend had in police custody in Texas, died, all for freaking having a joint, bro. Like, that's a fucking failed state when you
yeah,
get arrested for having a fucking joint, and he was diagnosed schizophrenic before. Obviously he's gonna be fucking tripping the fuck out when you've got a bunch of cops. He's doing this. They took him to the hospital, checked his vitals, took him to jail, and then died in jail. And then there's like no information about it. You know what I mean? They won't release shit, and all 7 of the people get placed on leave, but this man's life is gone. You know what I mean? And all because he had a joint and he was having a mental health crisis. Like, that's fucked up.
yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with George Floyd. Like, my man's died over a counterfeit $20 bill. Like, I counter and that was allegedly. Obviously, the bill turned it out to be. I believe the bill turned it out to be real, or whatever the case may be. But like, my man's lost his life over a $20 bill. Like,
Well,
and
well, it's fucked up because it's a spectacle now too. Like, that now Derek Chauvin's trial is a spectacle when this fool should have he should be in trouble. It shouldn't take this long. It should not take this long. Like, I don't care about fair yada yada and yada yada yada. Like,
no, oh yeah, right to a fair trial, fair and speedy trial.
you have a right to a fair and speedy trial or whatever, but like, it's been a year, bro, and like, and I mean, he's probably gonna get off, or at least it's gonna be the least charge that he, you know what I mean, does whatever. But I mean, look at this. We're watching.
Get a what is it? Wanton endangerment charge.
Well, it was he's good. Probably he may get convicted on the 3rd-degree murder, but I doubt it. Like, if you look at the jury, like, it's not looking good. And so that's to me, it's just a problem. Like, it's just we've got real legitimate issues that just don't seem like they're going to be easy to come back from.
Oh yeah, no. And to be honest, like, I don't think we can. I don't think we can go like it's we're just gonna keep going until the reset button is hit. And what is the reset button? I don't know. I can't answer that. I would love for it to be like, we the people be like, you know what, fuck this shit. Y'all don't want to, ooh out the band, cool. We'll do it ourselves.
The only way I mean we can even survive it is not by not relying on them, the system and us. I mean, like I said, it took 400 years for us to get here. It's gonna take 400 to get out. So it's
gonna take double that, bro.
And
like,
yeah,
in a capitalistic world, like, oh yeah, for every step we take forward, we're setting ourselves 3 steps back when we think with a capitalistic mindset. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't understand how you preach education, and education is so important, but you're not giving everybody a fair chance to get the proper basic education. But you preach it though. You preach it though, and I think we're 27th in literature or something like that. Like,
it's bad.
And I forgot what we are in math, but we're talking about the greatest. You can't be the greatest country in America and you're fucking dumb.
Well, I mean, just look at it like in other countries, like something as simple as when you're growing up, they teach you another language. So through school, you learn not just your native language, you might learn like English. So say you're in anywhere across the world, you can take most countries, they teach two different languages, and it's good, you know what I mean? And but here it's like, because they should probably teach Spanish in school, because there's a
Yeah,
large
maybe
portion
it's
of our
because there's
population.
a whole nother country right below us that is completely different, and a lot of their people live in America.
And there's a lot of, that's the second most spoken language, I think, in America is Spanish. So it would be very good to do that. But we hate it. Like, we hate the idea of even someone speaking another language in America, when supposedly it's supposed to be a melting pot of people. Oh, you can't speak English, like speak English, or you can't, you know what I mean? Like that, to me, that's so wrong. And it just shows, and it's something simple, you know what I mean? It's communication. We have problems with the way someone else communicates. Some people in this country would literally hate someone because they speak another language. And all these, I mean, that's a simple thing. And so all these things, like, they just add up. And when it's a societal, we have a real societal and cultural problem. So you can't fix anything else unless we fix
Ourselves.
yeah. And no one wants to do that. I mean, look at and they do, and that's what Atlanta shows. Like, I think that Atlanta show.
It's crazy. It's crazy because I was going to take that and segue into Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta is another example, and right off the bat, prayers and thoughts and prayers to the families that were affected by the tragedy in Atlanta. That's It's crazy. We say all these things, and it all comes right back down to one common denominator, and that's like, white supremacy and racism. Because at the basis doorstep of this country, that's what this country was founded on. And even now, like 400 years after slavery, X amount of years of actually being declared the United States of America, it's like we're still dealing with the same things. It's just, and because of a life advance, everything else is just advanced. So like, white supremacy is not just in the form of slaves. White supremacy is now in the form of politics, jobs, and and domestic terrorism. Let's call it what it is. People don't want to call, the guy, and I don't know his name, and therefore I don't really care to know his name, but the Atlanta terrorist. Like, my guy literally committed violent acts against one specific race, really one specific sex too. So it's like, but he had a bad day though. That's cool.
And the whole like sexual temptation stuff, that stuff, to me, the media reaction is also a sign of a failed state, when you can't even have your media report correctly, or at least more informative than what they did. You know what I mean? Like, the reaction was just ridiculous. And the same thing, to me, like with Nashville. So that the Nashville bombing was wild. I mean, if you had some guy do a suicide bombing next to a communications building in any other country, it would be like terrorism and the country's falling and all this stuff. And then you get something like this, which is also very similar. And it is terrorism. It's domestic terrorism. And going up and just shooting massage parlors in, 3 different massage parlors, like, you would call it what it is if it happened like that in any other country. Or if they were Muslim, it would be called.
Or if they were Muslim, and if they were black, they would have called them gang
thugs. Yep,
blah,
exactly.
blah, blah.
Yep.
When their skin is, off white, it's, oh, he had a bad day. He has he has mental health issues.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. But you can't sit there and talk about he having mental health issues when over a half your homeless population probably has mental health issues from the military, because majority of them are military, and they got PTSD and all these other depressions and all this kind of stuff from serving your military and carrying out your dirty deeds, you know? So you can't use that. Like, and I say you can't, knowing that they actually will, and they're always going to defend themselves, you know? But it's just, again, bro, all it is just shows you like how full of shit we really are, bro. And I've said this for years. And I joke about it. I was like, man, if the United States could get Yelp reviews, like, oh my gosh, like, would we really have 5 stars? You know,
not at all. And yeah, that's another sign, I think, too, is we don't care about our elderly, and just about every other culture across the world cares about their elderly. I mean, look at what we did with people in nursing homes. You know what I mean? And I
if
could
they
go on
die,
forever.
they die.
Cuomo has like 6 sexual assault or harassment allegations, and that fool's just like, yeah, I'm not stepping down. No. Like, I'm not doing it. That's some blue MAGA Donald Trump shit. And so, and that fool had gotten caught like faking nursing numbers and making them lower when they were really higher, the nursing home deaths with COVID-19. And so these are all things like we really have a problem with. And then they blame the Nashville bombing on 5G conspiracy. Like, what? Bro, even if that's true, we've got a fucking problem. We've got a legitimate fucking problem. And so, and to me, the reaction for both, like, everybody who pays attention and cares and has a soul was hurt about Atlanta. Or with Nashville, they paid attention and was like, luckily no one died, but was like, whoa, that's weird. And cared that someone just killed themselves with an RV and tried to bomb a communications building. But from the rest of people, I don't see any reaction. Just like, oh, it's a normal day. Like, no posting, no caring, just like their post is about themselves.
It's everything, bro. It's everything. It's even, you know, even with like the podcast, people always like, man, like, how come they don't never show up like this anymore? But because it's not a fucking fad anymore. It's not a trend, and it doesn't affect them directly. Like, we're so self-centered and focused on us that we don't care if it doesn't affect us. And the only time we do even remotely show that we care is to follow a trend. It's you know, I feel like we're the biggest herd of sheep that walks this planet. You know, we just go with whatever, we go without questioning. And I think if you really just sit back and look at things and form your own opinion, and like just really listen to some of the stuff that be said, and it's like, bro, none of that shit makes sense. Like, the reasonings behind it don't make sense. But we're so groomed and taught to just learn and not question. Learn it and not question it. You know, good example. We talked about this a couple months ago with like the Electoral College and voting. It's like, so let me get this straight. Voting is all about whoever gets picked the most wins. Cool. So why is it that when it comes to the presidential election, the person who has the most votes still can lose the election? Like, it's stuff like that. And then again, the whole not providing free education for everybody, not providing free healthcare for everybody, and battling the homelessness and hunger. And it's like, oh, that's going to be too much. That's too much money. But we got money for war that doesn't really bring in money for the country. It brings in money to you guys and the companies that you do business with for the military stuff, but we don't see that money. I've never seen, as long as we've been in war in Afghanistan, like, damn it, it should be some kind of benefits from it, because whatever y'all say we're in Afghanistan for, I haven't seen that be an issue, you know. And like I said, all of this stuff they say we don't have money for, but I could have sworn all of this would like help boost and stimulate the economy. If everybody's well educated and got good jobs, they're going to make the jobs better, and which brings in more money. But you see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
None of this stuff makes sense, and we're so groomed to just take it and just roll with it. And that, like I said, that's the problem. That's a problem in itself. So
I completely agree. I think that's the best way to end it. So yeah, rest in peace to all the victims from Atlanta, and yeah, prayers to their families. I know there's a lot of GoFundMe, so I'll find some links and put them in here on this description. Yeah, so we live in a failed state, and hopefully everybody's okay.
Like Florida don't give a fuck about COVID.
Yeah. So on that note, it's your boy GDQ.
It's your boy Mag2301. Wear a fucking mask.
Be nice to your neighbor. Damn it.
Be nice to your neighbor. Buy a hoodie, shit, man, or a hat, t-shirt. We got it all, really. I'm working on some socks right now. Not really, but it sounded good.
All right, then. Boom.
All right, boy, we out.